So here we have the universal key.
This is one of the devices the province is trying to keep out of the hands of criminals. With it, they could steal a car within minutes.
They can program a key to the vehicle and start the vehicle and off they go without any issues. And this tool costs around $500 online.
In a recently tabled bill, the province says it wants to allow police to stop and search cars if they have reasonable grounds to suspect there are electric motor vehicle theft devices inside. That includes tech such as key fob programmers, fob scanners, and some smartphone applications. But criminal lawyers say it could become an avenue for charter rights violations or legal challenges if police stop a driver based on mere suspicion.
Wide discretionary authority by police, especially in the context of things like the Highway Traffic Act and traffic stops in general, are a breeding ground for racial profiling to occur precisely because of the large kind of discretionary search power that's endowed kind of in these moments where there's very little known about who the driver is.
I'm concerned that there's a power here that the police might abuse, and that could lead to additional litigation. I'm not entirely sure that this was necessary, and if the criminal code did not already have the tools available to deal with this problem.
The Canadian Civil Liberties Association says thousands of racialized people are arrested in Canada every year during random roadside stops. Many of those targeted are Indigenous or Black.
And I think it's beyond dispute at this point that anti-Black racism is a reality in Canadian society and reflected in our institutions, including our police services and the criminal justice system more broadly.
The province says the proposed stop and search initiative would amend the Highway Traffic Act, but some say that too might be unconstitutional.
The purpose really of the HTA is to regulate driving practices by endowing the HTA with search powers that are designed to root out auto theft. It's taking on a criminal dimension that arguably oversteps the bounds of provincial jurisdiction, and that's an area that I would suspect is going to come under criticism.
Some experts in car tech say initiatives aimed at auto theft are generally a good thing, but add that this initiative doesn't address some of the root causes. First, that anyone can buy key fob tools and tutorials are readily available online. Second, that car manufacturers are making key fobs that are too easy to hack. Many say automakers need to do more.
I do think if they went back to keys, you would probably cut down auto theft by a magnitude of 80+% at this point. But I don't think that that's realistic, and I don't think the manufacturers will go that route.
In a statement, a federal government spokesperson said the ministry in charge of innovation and science is considering comments received in developing any restrictions with respect to these devices and continues to work with Canadian companies, online retailers, and the automotive industry on this issue. CBC Toronto reached out to the province several times for comment regarding concerns about racial profiling and the constitutionality of the proposed bill. Neither the Ministry of Transportation nor the Solicitor General's office would provide a statement. Brittany Billette, CBC News, Toronto.
People in the GTA and across the country are bracing for a possible Canada Post strike by the end of the week. Clara Pasica joins us from the Canada Post location at Lakeshore, and Leslie with the latest. Clara.
Well, Dwight, here at this Canada Post Office, some people hoping to get their packages and letters in early. The reason for this, people hearing about the possibility of this looming strike. The union representing the workers at Canada Post say that workers could be on strike as of midnight on Friday. So this would be the second strike in just a few months' time. We did have that other multiple week strike that ended just before Christmas, only after both sides were ordered back to work. Now, the union is emphasizing in this case today that a deal is still possible, but they're saying that there's a lot to fight for in terms of working conditions and benefits. Have a listen.
And unfortunately, Canada Post walked away from the table again last week. I think that's about the third time through this process that they've walked away from the table. And they also indicated that they may change our working conditions as of midnight on Thursday. So that would include suspending employee benefits like their medical, the prescription benefits. And that would affect also people that are on maternity leave, short-term disability. So this is kind of the CUPW's response to that.
Now, Canada Post is saying they too want to avoid a strike, and they're saying that they are wanting to negotiate. But as they go about trying to reach this deal with the union, they're saying it has to reflect the current environment, the current financial realities of this organization. And they're saying that they're losing about $1 billion a year right now. So we spoke with representatives from Canada Post, and they're saying that even just the possibility of this strike is already making things even harder and harder for the organization in terms of its future. Have a listen.
It's going to scare the heck out of all of our customers. Our big customers, they've already gone to the competition and with every bit of business that they can because they're not taking another chance again. Small businesses have fewer options, and Canada Post is often their only option, and it's going to scare them, and people are going to be worried about that. And our employees, 55,000 CUPW represented employees from coast to coast, they lost 32 days of pay last year. That's tough, and to think that we might be back in that soup again is just really hard for Canadians to stomach.
Now, the two sides have been holding talks, but without much apparent progress so far. We've been chatting with customers here. Many of the people we're speaking to carrying more than just mail, hoping to send it out. They're also carrying some of those larger existential questions with them as they head into the post office. Have a listen.
A lot of people wouldn't be getting what they were supposed to be getting, particularly their income tax refunds.
I just renewed my passport, and it's supposed to be arriving June 10th. And luckily I don't have any immediate travel plans, but I think I'd be worried if I did.
Actually, it's the only thing which I do actually use it for. It's just to send birthday cards. That's it, and I can send it other ways, so it doesn't bother me at all.
I would prefer things to be in Canada Post because they're Canadian after all, but if their services aren't unreliable as what it is right now, then it's better to have competition.
Now, what does it mean for you if this strike does go ahead? Well, we do know that social assistance checks, if you're someone who received those, will go through, but we don't really know very much about the complete nature of this strike. Will it be rotating strikes? Will it be will it be a full strike, or will a strike be avoided altogether?
Thank you, Clara.
Ethan Lahoulier appeared virtually in bail court today. He was wearing orange jail clothes and sat down the entire time in a small room. He spoke only once, stating his first name to the judge. Lahoulier is facing 12 charges, including 3 counts of impaired driving causing death. Around 12:30 a.m. on Sunday, police allege Lahoulier sped onto the exit ramp at Highway 401 and Renforth Drive, lost control, and went over a raised median. Police say he crashed into a minivan that was stopped at a red light, killing 3 siblings, ages 6, 13, and 15, and injuring their 10-year-old brother, as well as their mother and family friend. A publication ban protecting the children's identities is now in place. Nothing has been proven in court.
It's difficult to hear these stories. It's difficult to accept that people are still making these choices. We know that one of the highest risk categories are young people, especially young men, 18 to early 30s. That's the group that's most likely to drive impaired.
A clerk at the Ontario Court of Justice told CBC News Lahoulier does not appear to have previously faced any criminal charges or speeding tickets in the province. The van involved in the crash is registered to Dave Lahoulier. He told CBC News, quote, "What happened was a horrible tragedy. We're trying to spend time with family and piece things together." Lahoulier's counsel did not request bail. He remains in custody and is scheduled to appear in court next month for initial disclosure. A court order prevents him from contacting the 3 surviving victims. Meanwhile, flowers honoring the family are fastened to a pole with the police tape left over from the crash scene. And a memorial continues to grow outside one of the schools the children attended.
I called him, my friend, the 15-year-old, and he didn't pick up. He just kept on trying to call him, but then I called his dad, and he told me the news, and I just broke down in tears.
You hear about stories like this all the time, but when it happens to like your friends, like it hits you really hard.
The Toronto Catholic District School Board confirms all 4 kids are students of theirs. The TCDSB says mental health supports are available to students, staff, and the community. Dale Manukduk, CBC News, Toronto.